Okay, so let's get right into it. For what feels like forever, the flagship phone market was, well, it was pretty predictable, right? You had your champions, you knew their moves, but that's all over now. The old advantages are just vanishing, and the battle lines are being completely redrawn.
So what happens when you just toss out the old rulebook? What does this new kind of chaotic fight even look like? And, the big question is, who's actually winning now?
I mean, think about it. For ages, picking a top-tier phone was pretty straightforward. But now, the whole market's grown up. The big leaps in innovation feel like they're getting smaller, and those sharp, clear lines between the brands, they've all just blurred into this messy stalemate.
And this quote from Android Authority just hits the nail on the head. Even the biggest, most hyped releases, they feel incremental. They're better, for sure, but they're not life-changing. And that feeling of stagnation, it leaves the door wide open for a challenger to come in and just shake everything up.
All right, let's talk about cameras, because for so long, this was Pixel's kingdom, period. Its magic with computational photography wasn't just some feature on a list, it was the reason a ton of people bought the phone. It was the undisputed champ for getting that perfect photo.
But that crown is definitely wobbling. As this Redditor points out, Pixel's main advantage, its ace in the hole, is not a guaranteed win anymore. And if you're a longtime Pixel fan, that's genuinely concerning.
So here's how this is actually playing out. The new iPhone 17 Pro camera is legitimately making people do a double take. But at the exact same time, you've got users who are starting to feel like Pixel's photo processing has maybe gone a little too far, making things look unnatural. Then you factor in the killer third-party camera apps like Halide, they're often iPhone only, and you can really see the ground shifting. Now, to be fair, Pixel still has a major lead in one super important area, getting skin tones right.
And this brings us to Apple's big move. Because this year's iPhone isn't just another update. No, the iPhone 17 Pro feels like a direct, all-out assault on its rival's turf. We're talking a whole new design, new hardware, and really a whole new philosophy.
You can see the change immediately, just by looking at it. They've moved to a tougher aluminum body. The whole look is just bolder, more aggressive. You've got these curved edges, this huge horizontal camera bar, they're calling it a plateau, and these loud new colors. It feels, well, very un-Apple, and honestly, a little more Android.
And this confusion even spills over into battery life, which has always been an iPhone slam dunk. I mean, look at this. On one side, CNET is calling the Pro Max a battery life king, the best they've ever tested. But then, you have Android Authority saying the phone runs hot and the performance is limited. These are both expert opinions. It just goes to show you nothing is certain anymore.
All right, let's move on to the next major battleground, artificial intelligence. Both Apple and Google have been selling us this vision of a smarter future, but what we've actually got right now is more like a confusing Cold War, where the marketing hype and the day-to-day reality just do not line up.
So before we get too deep, let's just quickly get on the same page about what was promised here. On-device AI is supposed to be a total game changer. It means the AI runs right there on your phone, no internet needed. That should mean you get instant answers, way better privacy, and you can still do smart stuff when you're offline. That's the dream anyway.
But here's where that dream just crashes into reality. This quote is from someone who switched to the Pixel specifically for its AI, and they were shocked to find out that Google's Gemini Assistant couldn't do even the most basic things offline. That's a massive disconnect between promise and reality.
So where does that leave us? Well, basically in another stalemate. Google's Gemini is an absolute beast when it's online. It's tied into all of Google's stuff, and it's great at complex jobs. But ask it to do something simple offline, and it just falls apart. Meanwhile, Apple Intelligence with Siri crushes those simple offline tasks, but it's seen as pretty limited and way behind Google on the really creative, complex AI stuff. So yeah, neither one has a clear victory.
Which brings us to the big finale. The old, easy reasons to pick an iPhone or a Pixel, they're just gone. So if you're looking for a new flagship phone today, how on earth are you supposed to decide?
Okay, let's just lay it all out on the table. For still photos, the iPhone is catching up fast, while Pixel is losing that magic touch, but still nails skin tones. Video, iPhone is still king, no contest. AI is a total trade-off. iPhone handles simple offline stuff, Pixel is the online genius that's useless without a signal. And design, you're picking between Apple's bold new look and Pixel's classic, familiar feel.
So here's the bottom line. The decision isn't about one killer feature anymore. It's not about who has the single best camera or the smartest AI. The choice has gotten, well, it's gotten more philosophical. It's about which company's vision for the future you actually trust and want to invest in.
And that kind of leaves us with one final question to think about. As these phones get more and more similar, is the real choice even about the piece of metal and glass in your hand anymore? Or is it really about deciding which company, Apple or Google, you trust to build your digital world for the next 5 years? The war has definitely changed, and so has the way we need to think about who's winning.